Wash day tomorrow. Nothing clean, right?
Nothing clean, right?
Hey, I think this guy's a couple cans short of a six-pack.
Hello and welcome to Food to Watch Films by episode 17.
Wow, 17.
Did you like the way I said that?
I did, yeah. It was seductive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thought I'd do something a little wild. But yes, if you've not listened to this podcast before, basically we talk about films we've watched and recommend food that we think would help to heighten and enhance your sensory experience of watching that film. So you can really, delve into that film, taste it, lick it, smell it.
Just absorb yourself.
Yes.
The film. In every sense.
Yeah. And yeah, that's it. So we're going to be taking you on an experiential journey into the combination of food and films. This time with a bit of a theme on technology and artificial intelligence and stuff.
Yeah, cyborgs and lasers and
robots,
shiny chrome and
yes, and it's exciting. I mean, personally, I work amongst technology. I am in the technology sector. I spend a lot of time with technology, not in an unhealthy way. You know what I mean? But so I wanted to dedicate this episode to my friend, technology.
But I suppose we all work within technology.
We are,
because we're surrounded by it.
We're slaves to technology.
Things have developed so quickly.
Yes.
As well.
Yeah.
I think 10 years ago, the whole things of smartphones and whatever else.
That was just dreams.
That was literally sci-fi.
It was.
That was sci-fi. That was Star Trek stuff.
Yeah. Now it's real.
Every bugger's got one. My mum's got a smartphone.
Yeah.
She can't even text yet, but she's got a freaking smartphone.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I know, and it's mad. You get so used to touchscreen things that you just find yourself occasionally just like touching random panes of glass expecting it to do something.
It's
confusing.
And it's in the self-service and you forget how to interact with people. The other day I went up for a coffee and just started prodding the barista.
Yeah. And
they don't like that. They do not like it.
Yeah, don't like having the barista poked.
No, well, nobody would, really, would they? But this is what I'm saying, you just become too detached from human interaction.
You do.
Yeah.
Lose all social skills. But anyway, you're probably listening to this on your technology.
We love technology.
Yeah. So please follow us on Twitter, etc. Yeah. Anyway,
social media.
On that note, should we get on to your top 5, Adam?
Affirmative.
Yes.
'Cause this is Adam's top 10.
5.
So yeah, as we said, this episode's going to focus around technology. Later on we'll be talking about giving a bit of a review to Ghost in the Shell.
Yes, the latest.
The latest live action version of Ghost in the Shell.
Yep.
And it got me thinking because the film obviously centres around the main protagonist is a cybernetic organism. And it's an interesting concept. It's essentially human beings who've been enhanced by technology in one way or another. There's a lot of good representations of that within films to varying degrees. And when we're talking about cyborgs,
yes.
Don't be confused between this isn't just robots. This doesn't include Terminator. It doesn't include the Westworld robots.
That's a shame.
They're robots. There's no human element in terms of organic matter, and
living tissue.
A little bit of confusion. Yeah, I've taken away androids or replicants, as it's told in Blade Runner. This is pure cyborgs.
Oof.
Pure hardcore cyborgs.
Boig.
Yeah, boig.
Does Bjorn Borg?
Beyond Borg, he gets an honourable mention.
Oh, right.
So, speaking of which, so my honourable mentions. So this is my top 5 movie cyborgs.
Yep, go for it.
I've gone for sort of an honourable mention, more for the cartoon than the movie, which was horrific. But Inspector Gadget.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, because he is a cyborg. Is an enhanced human.
Yeah.
And I've gone for a little bit of a guilty pleasure of mine. I love this film, Universal Soldier.
Yeah, it's classic.
It's awesome, right?
Van Damme.
Lundgren.
Lundgren. Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah, I love that film. There's some awesome action sequences in it. It's very, very cheesy and very of its time. But the concept of it is so solid as a sci-fi action concept.
Oh, yeah.
Brilliant. The more I talk about it, the more it should have probably been in the top 5.
I haven't watched it for a long time either, so that is
get
one I
back
would
to
have
it.
to watch.
Also, actually, another Van Damme film was Cyborg. Maybe about 83 or something like that. It came one of his earlier ones. And
I forgot around to watching that.
There's some quite cool sort of kind of practical visual effects with a cyborg character in there as well. So that's another honourable mention as well.
Yeah.
Anyway, to the top 5.
Number 5.
I've gone for The Colossus of New York.
Oh.
Okay, probably one of the earliest representations of cyborgs within movies. 1958 it came out. It's that very kind of era of American sci-fi movies and the horror genre. It's kind of a bit of sci-fi technology, Frankenstein. Definitely worth a watch. It still stands up. It's a good movie to watch today. It is, again, it's of its time, but it's a good film. So that's Colossus of New York. Number 5.
Yeah. Number 4.
Number 4. This guy's popped up in an earlier episode. It's Frankenstein from Death Race 2000.
Oh yes, of course, yes.
Yep. We know that he's had various near-death experiences. Have replaced different parts of him.
Yeah.
He
likes to wear leather.
He loves leather. Did we say that in that David Carradine was actually allergic to leather, and he had to wear? It had to be like a plastic suit. He couldn't actually wear leather.
We might have done. It might have got edited out. I can't remember.
But yeah, I might have just dreamt it. But I remember thinking it was ironic that kinky old guy didn't enjoy the leather.
Ooh.
So, but number 5, Frankenstein from the fantastic
that was actually
2000.
number 4.
Fuck. It was going so well. Number 4, Frankenstein.
Yeah. Number 3.
Number 3.
That's stupid.
It was good. I liked it.
Number 3.
I've gone for Major out of both the animated anime and also the live action for Ghost in the Shell.
Ooh.
So just Ghost in the Shell. I added an extra there. Won't go into too much depth. Ghost in the Shell. Yeah, I did the opposite of what Yorkshiremen usually do. I added too many there's overcompensating. But yeah. We'll talk about it later, but
we'll get on to that.
Yeah, certainly worthy of the top 5 place.
Yep. Number 2.
Now, number 2, this might be a little bit controversial because arguably this is probably the most iconic movie character in the top 5.
Okay.
But in terms of cyborg, I've put it as number 2. It's Darth Vader.
Oh.
Now, the reason I put him at number 2 and not number 1 is because, before being in, having his robotic parts added, it was already pretty enhanced. He was a friggin' Jedi. The robotic aspect is there really to kind of maintain and keep him alive. Whereas, I felt that the number 1 spot had to be reserved for somebody who the technology aspects really did kind of enhance the physical abilities.
Okay.
Whereas Darth Vader, as I say, it's more of a kind of a breathing apparatus.
A life support.
A life support machine, exactly. But number 2, Darth Vader, takes us to number 1.
Number 1.
It had to be. Could only be. RoboCop.
Of course.
Come on.
Dead or alive, you're coming with me.
Come on, Murphy.
Yeah.
RoboCop. I love the original.
It's a brilliant film.
Watching back, it can easily be dismissed as 80s action cheese, but it's so much more. There's so much political satire in there, so much social commentary, so many great performances, so much awesome visual gore as well.
Yeah. Toxic Man.
Toxic Man. That traumatised me as a kid, but traumatised me so much that I must watch it 100 times since.
His limbs gradually blasted off.
When he loses his hand. But again, you know, I say this time and time again about certain films that I love that still look good today, but it is such an important aspect because you can watch that film, it holds up, the visual effects within it still look good. So much more stronger than the remake. The remake just to me just seemed unnecessary.
I think I got about 2 minutes in and I was like, I can see this is not going to go well. No thanks, turned it off.
I watched it on a flight to New York, and I really wanted to
punch him
to punch an air hostess.
Yeah. That's a bit harsh.
Yeah.
Bloody hell, Adam. Anyway, no, I've got a bit of an interesting thought on RoboCop that popped into my head a couple of years back. Actually, I was thinking about this, and you know how Murphy, obviously, when he's human, before he dies, basically, and becomes RoboCop, he's a human. So he's an employee. He's employed as a police officer. He's got his benefits. He's got his contracted work hours. Human. His
got his pension.
To laws, regulation. And then when he becomes RoboCop, he basically becomes like an asset, doesn't he? Like a photocopier, what have you. So working hours wouldn't really apply. However, he does become conscious again, and they do realise he is actually technically, in a way, alive. Yeah. So what does that do in terms of his human rights and his?
I think he's a cop first and foremost, and he is he's entitled to all those benefits. Yeah. What would concern me is
holidays,
because
sick pay.
The other thing is probably if he's a cop, he's probably got a hefty life insurance policy, which would have paid out on the point of his death to his family. When they realise that actually he's conscious of thought, do they get that money taken away from them?
Oh yeah, maybe it's like, oh actually no, sorry.
Yeah. How do the family? We need to protect RoboCop's rights. We need to make sure he's getting paid a fair salary and is intact to his human rights as a cyborg and a cybernetic organism. But what about his family?
But at the same time, where is that line? I mean, is he just an asset to the? Is he as much a coffee machine?
You see,
killing coffee
machine. But this is the thing. This is a hypothetical question that we're posing here. But are we that far away from having these conversations in Parliament in our lifetime?
Yeah, NOE technology.
Are you real?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You could be a replicant.
Who no one knows anymore.
Yeah.
It's grim.
It is. Could be like Robin Williams in Bicentennial Man.
Yes.
There's an obscure one for you.
So there you have it. There's Adam's top 5, and if you've got an alternative top 5 or some suggestions that could have been added in there, then please feel free to tweet us at FTWFB Podcast. You can find us on Facebook, email us at wherever gmail.com. We'll learn it one day.
Or write us a letter and post it, or it'd be nice. Let's strip back from technology a bit. Actually, don't just tweet us. It'll be easier.
Yeah. Okay. And that note, let's move on. Okay, so on to our film and food recommendation, and this one is the recent remake of Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah.
Starring Scarlett Johansson. And everyone's favourite Beat Takeshi Kitano.
Legend.
So I just needed to do that. As well as a whole host of other people. Juliette Binoche, Michael Pitt. You might recognise from other things such as Hannibal, you were saying before.
Yeah, the Hannibal TV series and Boardwalk Empire.
Yes.
As well, fantastic in that.
Yeah, and if you're not familiar with the concept of the film, I mean, you may be familiar if you're into manga at all, because this is a remake of a very classic, critically acclaimed Japanese manga, The Ghost in the Shell, which was released back in 1995, which is a fantastic film. This is obviously bringing it into live action instead, and featuring Scarlett Johansson playing Major Motoko Kusanagi.
That's easy for you to say.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who essentially, and this is similar to the original film, is saved well, we see her at the start being cyber enhanced. Her broken body, well, actually, her whole body's being rebuilt, isn't it? She's been put into a synthetic body. And
a shell, if you will.
Yeah, and then employed almost like a super soldier to stop the world's sort of criminals and terrorists, etc. And soon she gets involved with, there's a criminal who's sort of hacking into people's minds and controlling them, or other cyber-enhanced individuals. And it all starts to get a little complicated when she finds out some of the things about her own cyber-enhanced ness and how that came about. But anyway, that's it in a nutshell, in a shell.
Yeah.
And what were your thoughts on it, Adam?
Yeah, I mean, firstly, I think you've got to look at visually how stunning it was for the most part, because it had it's an hard act to follow. I mean, you've got an adaptation of what is a classic anime.
Yeah. Amazing,
groundbreaking,
amazing
anime.
Atmosphere and
the soundtrack, which I absolutely love that soundtrack. It just adds so much to the overall film. I felt for the most part visually it really set this world out. Quite effectively. It was almost, in parts, it was, I was reminded of, a lot of people have drawn parallels to this, but Blade Runner,
yeah, of course,
to an extent.
That cityscape and
Fifth Element as well. I thought there was some aspects where, but you really did feel that you were in this world, and I think that was initially one of the hardest challenges that they had to face, and I think they did that very successfully. I think there were, there were certainly scenes which looked like they were just plucked straight out of the anime, and I thought were executed very, very well. I think that there were elements that were maybe a little bit too close to the original, because with this type of movie, you have to be bringing something a little bit different. They didn't just have the initial movie. Remember, they did borrow from the TV series as well, and there were a lot of interesting elements within that. But throughout the movie, I never really felt that I was watching anything completely groundbreaking. And for me, going into it, I had a lot of expectation. I think that's part of the issue as well. There's very high expectations going into it, so I did want to go away thinking, well, I've just witnessed something that had never been done before. And in parts, especially in the third act, where you've got the fight with the tank robot, there's an element that totally took me out, because for the most part I was loving the visuals of it, where there's this really shitty CGI of, honestly, it looks like something that could have done 10 or 15 years ago, where it's overly CGI, her leaping from the balcony, and it looks so... I just want to just reach in and just rip that section of the film out and just scrap it out, because it looks shit now. This type of...
Whoever was tasked with that part just couldn't be arsed.
It's like whoever was tasked with that, fuck you. Because...
you dick.
Yeah, you dick. But yeah, it just took me out of it a little bit. And it was a split second, you could almost say blink and you miss it. But and I've spoken to a few people who said the exact same thing. But it needed to be something a little bit more, I feel. And that might sound harsh, because I did really enjoy it in a lot of aspects. It needed to be more.
Well, I'm probably going to sound a little more condemning. I really didn't enjoy it. In fact, I didn't even watch the whole thing.
Really?
I found it very disappointing. I couldn't get into it. I love the original. Like, I think it's amazing, the original, and with this, seeing the trailer, it had so much promise. Like, I was so excited when I saw the trailer. Everything about it should have been amazing. And I got bored very quickly, and I just couldn't get into it. Yeah, visually it was stunning. There was some nice action scenes. Yeah. But that's it for me. Like, it was monotone otherwise, which sounds awful, and I feel awful saying that, because it's got some great people in it, but yeah, It was.
I do know what you mean. There are elements for me for that. I think at the end of the day as well, when you look at storyline, there's some really interesting aspects. I mean, which the original had as well. You've got the overview of kind of abuse of technology. Particularly when we're looking at cyborgs and cybernetics. The ghost, as it were, or human consciousness versus the kind of almost her as an object. But throughout those themes, what I kept going back to thinking was, I'd rather be watching RoboCop.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Just imagine Murphy. Blasting out. Yeah,
I'd rather have that kind of the little bit of comical satire in there. It's addressing very similar themes, but doing it with much more charm. RoboCop, this just, I don't know. I didn't come away with it feeling like, right, I want to rewatch that.
It was just it just had nothing. There was nothing there. Do you know what I mean? Which sounds awful, but
I really hope it, because it is such an interesting concept as a whole.
Oh yeah, it was a fantastic story, but
and as I say, they did so. There's a lot of it that I did like, but I do hope that they go for the sequel, which I believe they are doing anyway, and they cover some new ground that hasn't maybe been explored within the original anime or the TV series, and the look to really kind of start pushing the boundaries with it a little bit. There were some elements that seemed a bit reserved as well. I think in the anime there's an opening scene where she bursts through the window. The first shot she takes, literally the bullet goes in and then explodes well in him, and almost shot for shot that scene was copied, and then when it got to that shot, no exploded head.
I mean that's the thing. I mean, I think it is a bit of a challenge, kind of recreating a manga and such a classic manga and bring it into live action. I can't think of many films that have been adapted from manga that I actually enjoyed. Like Street Fighter the animated movie. Street Fighter the animated movie was brilliant. Street Fighter the film. Oh, I know that's a horrible one to kind of compare this to, but you know what I mean. It's I think it's very hard.
That's it. I think. I've spoken to people who have never seen the original anime and who have enjoyed it. So I think it almost kind of brings, if you are a massive fan, which a lot of people are of the original, it is difficult to kind of get that separation. Where I think coming into a follow up. That could be a good opportunity to win some of those people over. But by the same token, I'm not sure if this has left a lot of people thinking, actually, I really do want to see the next one. But we'll see.
But like I said, I was disappointed, but hey, this is life anyway. But should we get onto the food recommendations?
Yes, let's do it.
Do you want to? Would you like to get your wok out first, or
let me slap that pan onto the grill? What? Right. So for my food suggestion, you could say predictably, I've gone for a bit of a Japanese theme.
Okay.
Because I needed to really pay homage to the roots of Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah.
And I've gone for a traditional spicy Japanese dish, which is tantan ramen. Now, the reason I've gone for this one, Johnny, is because it's visually interesting. There's a lot of colours in this dish. You've got the reds, you've got the greens, you've got the yellows. You've got a lot going on visually. Now, my tantan ramen, unfortunately, the chef's cocked up a little bit.
Oh, okay.
He's forgot the chilli.
So it's just lacking a bit of that punch, you mean? So
it's brought out to me. It's visually, it looks good. It looks good. There's a lot of style there. Presentation's flawless.
Yeah.
But
just
Norbeg's forgot to put some chili in it. And I've ordered this because I want that kick.
Yeah.
I want that bit of spice.
But instead you've got a bland soup.
And there's a bland soup. And, I'm left thinking, well, I'm not going to order from this Muppet anymore. I want I want a spicy meatball.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Not a bland tam tam ramen.
Yeah, and it should pack a punch.
Yeah.
It should be like, whoa.
It should pack a punch. Exactly. Yes.
I'm sorry, I don't know what I'm doing.
It should make wasabi
Yeah.
seem like a bland potato. This is so that's me, and that does represent how I feel about the film a little bit. Some good visuals, but not quite the kick I was hoping for. And I'd also eat it in with a electronic spork.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, do you know one of those that kind of moves around? Because I felt, that's just to represent the...
almost like you've got some sort of weird bionic hand.
The sort of cybernetic side of it.
Yeah, of course.
That can be the extension of my appendage.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Cool.
Well, funny enough, my food recommendation is very similar to yours, actually.
Yeah.
Basically, once my wife Alison actually once made custard, and she forgot to put the sugar in it. And
I bet you hit the roof. Did you come home from work?
No, but this was dessert, and it was like, whoa, what? So obviously, steaming custard, you're like, ooh, lovely sweet sugary custard without the sugar.
Yeah,
it's like, what? It's an illusion. So I felt exactly the same as you. So you could have a sticky toffee pudding with custard, which should be an indulgently sweet taste, but without any sugar or anything, would be a huge sort of hole in your soul. Yeah, when you try and eat it, which this did kind of make me feel, unfortunately. And also, just to kind of, if you wanted to add to the experience of it, why not get someone to, at the same time you're suddenly taking that first mouthful, text you some rather mundane news or something quite depressing, just to kind of add to that experience of, just to add to the food experience.
I love the fact that our food suggestions have, for probably the first time in 17 episodes...
I thought you were going to say 17 years.
No, 17 years. No, in 17 episodes has a very, very similar. We've gone from pretty much the same suggestion, only I've decided, I've chosen the main course and you've gone for the dessert.
Yeah, but we're both the same sort of
but both of our choices are bland, intentionally so.
But it ultimately it does sort of signify, unfortunately, this film. Which it pains me to say, but because I was really looking forward to this. I saw the trailer, I was like, oh mama.
And again, I, from my side, if you haven't seen it, I do suggest watch it, because I think it has still got a lot going for it. There's some good performances within there, and if you've never seen if you've not got too much sort of invested in the original, there is an interesting storyline. It does drag out. There's a few pacing issues. But still, I mean, you could do a lot worse in terms. I've seen worse movies and worse sci-fi movies within the last year, certainly.
Yeah, like that. What's that John Travolta one? The Scientology film thing. That weird film we did ages ago that was bollocks.
Oh, was it some Battlefield Earth?
Yeah,
was that it? Battlefield Earth? Yeah.
Don't watch that.
Yeah. That is, I didn't realise. Was that Scientology?
No, I don't know. He's a Scientologist, isn't he? I think I was just.
I think he is.
I think it is some. Anyway.
Yeah.
Avoid. Anyway, shall we move on?
Gentlemen, your conversation makes interesting listening.
Okay, so we're at that point in the podcast again where we've invited a listener on to join us for a bit of fun, frolics and conversation. Isn't that right, Adam?
That's correct. So Sophie, are you
Hello.
You there?
Hi, Sophie.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you doing?
Not too bad. For our listeners here, we've got Sophie from the Edtech Podcast. Well, Sophie, do you want to explain what it's about?
Yeah, why not? So the Edtech Podcast really is very for anyone who's passionate or involved with education innovation to listen in and hear from both sides, so both educators and tech heads as well.
Yeah, it's an excellent podcast if you've got an interest in technology education. You've recently done an episode which links in quite nicely to the theme of our episode today, which is about artificial intelligence and technology, about cyborgs,
androids.
But and there's some interesting comments that came out of that. I think there's one about what was it? It was androids making the decision on legal proceedings or
That's
something.
right. The podcast episode was a recording with David Bray, the CIO or Chief Information Officer from the Federal Communications Commission in the US. And so I guess one of his examples, so we were talking about if you were an educator, how do you train students who are coming up to sort of deal or develop leadership skills for a world that's going to include artificial intelligence. And one of his examples, I suppose, that he gave was in California, where they're now using artificial intelligence to actually help set their bail decisions for naughty people.
That was it.
But what it has shown is that the kind of bias in the previous decisions, and I think it even identified that there was some bias given towards finding people guilty based on their height. So I'm inferring from that it probably meant that the shorter people were more likely to be found guilty.
Really?
I'm screwed.
I
am screwed.
I mean, they do say don't trust a small person.
What? You're the shortest.
A beard, then you really are screwed. So
I mean, particularly if they're Irish and are wearing a green hat and a clover and are looking for Lucky Charms.
As a short, ginger, bearded gent. I've been marginalised for far too long.
Sorry, we took it off there on a bit of a sorry, Sophie.
A bearded short person tangent. But I mean, I'm not so familiar with cyborgs, but I mean, I don't know if you're familiar with the work of Ray Kurzweil or the singularity theory.
Oof. It sounds familiar, but I've heard of singularity theory, but I don't know anything about it, to be honest.
Well, so I guess the idea is that by 2045, he predicted that the collective intelligence of computers would outweigh that of human intelligence, which isn't that far off. But then again, everything is developing very fast. So we'll have to see, and what that means for your average podcaster like you and I as well.
Yeah. But no, that makes sense. I mean, if we talk about collective intelligence, and we've got Brexit to demonstrate the.
Are we basically coming to like Skynet and the end of the world?
We are.
Yeah.
It is happening, baby. And on that note, I have a very serious question to ask you.
Okay.
On the theme of our technology related shiz, one thing I was thinking about a lot recently is vending machines. And that they haven't really come a long way for us since I was a kid, really. Like they still operate the same, you still get the same rubbish, and they're always really disappointing. You always get the same rubbish selection. I did go to Japan a few years back, and some of the stuff you get there is amazing. So my question to you is,
like school children's clothing.
Yeah, exactly. Cans of hot coffee, that was mental. Anyway, so my question to you was, if there was one food that you could get from a vending machine regularly, or at your disposal, what would it be?
It would probably be Marmite toast that had just been
Just
buttered
toasted.
and marmited up.
Oh. That does sound quite good. Are you a fan of Marmite, Adam?
Yeah, people say you either love it or you hate it. I'm somewhere in between. Yeah, no.
You're on the fence.
I can take it or leave it. I'm disproving their marketing strategy. I don't either love or hate it. It's just, it's all right.
That's typical of you. You never. Yeah.
Can we go back to in Japan? They had a vending machine where you had a can of hot coffee.
What was they going to say? The school children's clothes. I thought you were. Hot coffee.
Hot coffee in a can.
Yeah, in a can.
How does that work?
It was crazy. I don't know.
What's the science behind that?
I don't know. It blew my mind.
Yeah,
That sounds amazing.
The thing that over sort of 3 decades on planet Earth, there's been 2 significant experiences I've had with vending machines.
Okay.
And one is when I was probably around 10, when we used to go swimming.
Oh yeah.
And you'd sort of scrabble. I don't know if this was just like the state of my childhood, and I'm sure it wasn't, but you'd sort of scrabble. It was like your first inkling into being self-sufficient. You'd scrabble around the vending machine, and if you found you might find an extra couple of 10p's, and if you put those, hit the jackpot. That was pretty exciting. And the other thing was, just maybe once or twice in your life when you put the money in and then 2 things come out.
Yes.
Oh my god,
That was funny.
yeah, that's like winning the lottery, isn't it? It's like, oh my god.
That is one of the best feelings in the world.
That's a bit like as well when you go to amusements as well. In fact, I used to regularly go into amusements and scan across the 2p machines, 10p, and see if there was any in the tray, and then and when you'd.
Were you one of those kids who set the alarms off by sort of shaking it?
Or when you walk past and it just drops on its own, you're like, and you get in there quick before anyone sees
Grab
it.
the 8 pence before anyone else does.
And have a great time.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I thought I'd pose that question. It's an interesting question to ask, I think.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm not the only one who thinks that. I'm sure there's something we can do with our vending machines to make them more interesting.
So that's one of your top questions, is it?
Yeah,
in life in general, yeah.
I mean, I've been pondering all week, like a big question to ask, and that,
Oh, that's a good one. I liked it.
Good. Well, yeah, but
why not vend? You know, like Argos. Not to keep on the vending machine thing. We know of Argos, though. Essentially, it is a giant vending machine, but with people sticking things on conveyor belts.
I suppose.
Why has no retailer just built a giant vending machine where you can go in self-service? You put your code in,
and then it just kind of goes.
Yeah.
I hate to be a party pooper, but isn't that Amazon?
Exist?
Well,
they've got the drone thing now, haven't they? So they'll just drone it off to your house and drop it off.
Yeah, that. I still can't get my head around that. Yeah,
wait a second. What, Amazon are delivering things by a drone?
Via drone, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Holy! It is Skynet, I tell you.
Yeah. I don't understand that if you're gonna get if the drone's gonna drop it off. I'm assuming does it just leave it outside your door? I mean, is someone not going to just sort of run away with that?
Does it know your secret place? Well, not the secret, but the place.
I mean, I'm okay. I live in a neighbourhood watch area, so I feel pretty confident that it's going to be all right. My elderly next door neighbours will keep an eye out for me, but not everybody does. That could just be gone in a matter of seconds.
That's mad.
Yeah.
What if you've ordered something really hefty?
Yeah, I think there's a weight limit for safety reasons that you don't want to get clocked on the head.
Yeah. That's mad.
Are the cameras on it as well? If you go sort of in your dressing gown, is there some sort of drone operator just a gust of wind comes at the wrong moment, and I'm not comfortable with that.
What if you got a sign for it as well?
Wow. Well, these questions. I mean, haven't they thought about these questions? I don't. Do you know, some of those I don't actually know about dropping them off. But there's the other thing, isn't there, where you can, I guess, now pick it up from various different places rather than just...
the Amazon lockers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What a world we live in.
In fact, you should maybe try and get someone, get the drone guy from Amazon on your podcast. That'd be good. Well,
if you want we've got one of the head of UK comms is John's co-host on the Southampton podcast.
Oh yeah,
you could get him on and talk about drones.
Oh yeah, let's get him on. I've never had a drone. I've always quite fancied one though. I've seen people playing with them.
I don't know. I'm not.
I like the idea. I've seen some amazing footage filmed by drones, and now, in fact, I visited a primary school just east of here, and because coding is now compulsory at primary school, And they were giving all the school kids there drones to do a film project which is pretty amazing. So
That'd be awesome going to school now, wouldn't it?
Coding is compulsory in
Can you
primary
imagine, do you reckon it substitute? You remember when you got told off for having shit handwriting? Do you reckon you get the same if you code badly? Oh, you haven't closed your brackets. Bah!
We used to have fountain pens. Now they do code. Do you feel like we're going to be left behind?
I mean, there was always the added bonus of flicking fountain pen ink at someone. Obviously, I didn't do that, but it was like a classic. And then the other one was just like a random kid just deciding to bite one of those fountain cartridges.
I regularly had to stop myself from biting it. So I used to have a bit of a thing of wanting to bite, like rubbers, chalk, fountain pens.
Were you a flicker, a flicky? Or a biter?
I don't know what you're asking me.
They just go everywhere anyway, didn't they? They were messy.
Yeah.
Which is
But it's, it was only a few steps away from having a quill, really. Wasn't it? It's now the coding. We're going to be obsolete soon, aren't we?
Will anyone be able to write? I write a lot at the moment, actually. But anyway, just scroll.
I said, will anyone be able to mate? Which is a question.
It'll all be done by drone.
Anyway. But no, I could chat all day about drones and fountain pens.
Are we playing a game?
But anyway, so let's move on. We'll move on to a game that I've prepared, and this one is called What Bot?
Yo, I'm a bot. But what bot? No, not that bot. I'm autonomous, baby. Cyberdyne Systems Model 101.
What would you little maniacs like to do first?
Damn straight. I ain't no vending machine. Bitch.
Okay, so what I've done is I've prepared a bit of a game where I am going to quote lines from films in relation to artificial intelligence, androids, cyborgs, whatever you want to call them, but done in a computer-generated voice. And you guys have to take turns and guess which film it's from.
Got it.
Sophie? Yep.
Oh, yeah.
I'm in there.
If you don't guess what it is, it gets handed over to the other person to see if they can guess, and we'll go from there. And I just need to shelter this MacBook from Adam so that he doesn't see the answers. So, who should go first?
It's got to be the guest first.
Okay, Sophie, you can go first.
Thank you, Adam.
Oops.
Okay.
You just have to bear with me. Bloody technology, yeah. Here we go. So, number one.
Please put down your weapon. You have 20 seconds to comply. You now have 15 seconds to comply. You are in direct violation of Penal Code 1.13, Section 9. You have 5 seconds to comply. 4, 3, 2, 1. I am now authorized to use physical force. Bang, 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 bang.
There we go.
Also, how do I recognise that guy's voice? Isn't it?
It's it's Daniel.
Oh, I know. Is it John? Is it the guy from Siri, the original guy?
Possibly. He's all over the place. Daniel. His voice is most text-speech programs or anything. Yeah, it's Daniel. Good old Daniel.
But can you guess the film?
Yeah, can you guess the film?
So I can kind of see the film that I think it is, but I cannot remember the title of it.
Describe it.
It's kind of like a satirical.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
It's the body of the person. This kind of tech person looks a bit like RoboCop, but the colours are different.
Oh, right.
It's a really poor description. So yeah, I'm just gonna pass.
That means I can steal it, right? These are the
that
rules.
Is so unfortunate.
I can steal it. Right?
Adam.
Is it RoboCop?
It is RoboCop. Which, Sophie, I can't believe it because you actually mentioned RoboCop, but you didn't say it.
I want to know the film that Sophie's describing because it's...
Oh, is it... I think I know which one you
Was it a dream?
I can't remember what it's called. It's a guy with like a yellow suit thing that looks a bit RoboCop, isn't it?
There's a
Yellow
couple of them out.
suit.
Yeah, well. Okay.
No.
So that's 1-0 to Adam thus far, and it's Adam's turn now. So,
Okay.
Adam, are you ready?
Yeah.
Hey Janelle, what's wrong with Wolfie? I can hear him barking. Is he alright?
Could I have that again?
Yeah.
One more time.
Hey Janelle, what's wrong with Wolfie? I can hear him barking. Is he alright?
Your foster parent. Oh, no. Hang on. Oh, I nearly gave something away there.
Foster parents.
The next line is your foster parents are dead. Anyway.
Is it Terminator?
Sorry. Bollocks. I'm sorry. So,
Is it Terminator 2?
Fuck.
Judgment Day.
I'm so sorry, Sophie. I don't know. I couldn't resist. I love that next line, and I'm so sorry. In fact, actually, Adam, you can get a half point for that one.
Oh, come
on. I gave it on a spoon.
Why am I being penalised for poor quiz mastery?
No, Adam has 1.5. Yes, it was Terminator 2. The bit where Arnie's impersonating the voice of John Connor to find out if his foster parents are dead, and they are. Yeah. Anyway, so over to you, Sophie, and here we go.
Hey, laser lips, your mama was a snowblower.
Oh, you've got to get this one.
No.
You know it. I know you know it. Well, I don't know you know it actually, but
Could you play it one more time? Just because I like to hear it.
Hey, laser lips, your mama was a snowblower.
bitch.
So badass.
Any ideas? Got to press your full answer.
It wasn't like that one's not Alien, is it?
No, it's not, I'm afraid.
No, I'm afraid I don't know it. I'm sorry.
No. Adam?
Oh, Johnny, I believe it's Johnny 5 from Short Circuit.
Yeah, this one is.
Yeah.
It is, yes. Johnny 5 is alive. Yes.
Oh, I used to love that film.
Yeah, that was the line he used to antagonise the other Johnny whatever bots. Anyway,
Yeah, it was
been a long
talking. It
time
was
since I
talking
watched it.
smack, wasn't it?
He was
Yeah.
trying to get
Robot smack.
yeah. But,
It sounds like some horrible
and
synthetic drug.
that's one film actually that I loved as a kid, and then watching it later on in life, I realised was really annoying. But anyway,
I haven't seen it probably for
don't
for a while.
don't go there. Anyway, so that brings it over to that's Adam's turn.
Okay.
So Adam, are you ready?
Yep, sock it to me.
I'm afraid, Dave. Dave, my mind is going. I can feel it. My mind is going. There is no question about it. I can feel it. I'm afraid.
Can you feel it?
Dave, it's Short Circuit. Is it Short Circuit?
I'm afraid it's not.
Is it not? Is that on Johnny 5?
No. I'm afraid it's not.
Bullshit.
Over to you, Sophie. Do you
I think it may be Hal from the Space Odyssey.
Indeed it is. It is. It's when he's starting to lose his mind. I'm afraid, Dave.
Which actually, I think it's because it actually just sounded quite similar to the real Hal.
He did a bit, actually, yeah. I know Daniel got pretty close then. Maybe he's getting a bit better with his performances.
Time goes on.
Okay, so I think that's 3.5 to Adam to your 1, Sophie. So you got some catching up to do.
Come on, laser lips.
So yes, no. Now here we go. Are you ready?
Ready?
Okay.
What are you waiting for? You're faster than this. Don't think you are. No, you are. Come on. Stop trying to hit me and hit me.
I know know this.
Stop trying to hit me and hit me. Doesn't sound like that, but just couldn't resist.
I'm not. I don't think I'm anywhere close to getting that one.
Do you want to throw out a suggestion just in case you get lucky with it?
I'm just trying to think logically of all the films in this area that haven't gone yet, but failing. So no, I'm going to give it up.
You're going to give it up?
Yeah.
Adam?
This is really annoying. I feel like I've seen this film fairly recently as well. And I know the line. There'll be people listening to it.
Yeah, whatever.
This episode screaming it, and I can't think of what it is. Stop trying to hit me. What is it?
You have to press E for an answer.
Yeah.
Bloody hell! Just say something. Anything.
Ghost in the Shell. It's not Ghost in the Shell, but
I'm afraid it's not. It was Morpheus in the Matrix.
Matrix, yeah. Of course it is.
Anyway.
Fool. Damn fool.
Okay, so this is Adam. We've got 3 left. You'd be glad to know. So yeah, Adam, another one for Yao.
Yeah.
You still don't understand what you're dealing with, do you? Perfect organism. Its structural perfection is matched only by its hostility.
Yeah, I know this one.
Oh, good.
Oh, well, I say I know this one. I mean, it's definitely an alien movie, but is it Alien?
Yeah. Do you know which character said it?
Do I get a bonus point for that?
Just out of curiosity.
It was what is it? The robot.
Ash.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, bloody hell. Sorry about this, Sophie. This is Adam.
Demauling.
Adam usually loses.
I do usually lose.
I usually try to. Well, yeah.
There's a lot of
try to engineer it, but this isn't working out well. I apologise. But anyway, so over to you again, Sophie.
Sloppy with your drink? Get this boy a bib. He needs his mama. You say something, boy. Why don't you make me shut up?
Think about some sort of androidy type trying to wind someone.
Oh, is it AI? You know, with the annoying little kid.
No, it isn't. I'm afraid.
It's fine.
Sorry.
I'm quite happy with the truth, which is that I'm weaker on this game show than Adam.
No, it's okay.
No, well, I haven't got a clue what this one is, to be perfectly honest. Is it Inspector Gadget?
I'm afraid it's
With
not.
Matthew Broderick.
It is the gunslinger in the original film Westworld.
Oh, wow.
Yul Brynner in the bar where he's trying to pick a fight. Brilliant film. But anyway, so that leaves us with the last question, and I can already say apologies, Sophie, but you have lost to Adam. But anyway, this is it doesn't matter.
No, it matters to me.
no, it matters. Okay, so this is the last one. So
Yeah.
Adam, are you ready?
I am, yeah.
Have you ever fucked on cocaine, Nick?
Is that it?
That is it.
Is it all I got?
That is it.
Is it? The Fifth Element. I don't know.
No, it's not. I'm afraid.
What is it?
Sophie, any ideas on that one? It's a bit of a random one.
It's not Ex Machina.
No, it's not.
That's quite a good guess, though.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
And actually, this was just stupid one I threw in there that's not actually related to anything. It's a Basic Instinct. I just thought it would be funny to hear. I'm just being childish, getting them.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so that brings the game to an end. And Adam, I think you stormed that one.
Victorious again. I think that's 2 episodes in a row now. Is it?
I think so.
Yeah.
But,
after several losses.
Yeah. But anyway, Sophie, I hope you enjoyed that. Was that
It was
enjoyable?
most enjoyable. It was indeed, yes.
But yeah, so but no one walks away empty-handed.
Oh, not on this show. What have we got?
Well, Adam, you're not going to get anything for this, but
yeah, you never go empty. What about Factor 50 sun cream?
That's a bit premature for that.
Yeah, we did have hailstone this week.
Could have a Kit Kat chunky. Do you want a Kit Kat chunky, Sophie? I can send you one in the post.
Other chocolate
I'd
bars are
love one.
available.
I would love a Kit Kat chunky. Yeah, go for it.
Are you opposed to Nestle, or do you not mind?
Yeah, actually, I am. Yeah, so any other chocolate varieties.
Okay, I'll see what I can dig out.
Or a piece of Marmite toast from a vending machine. Be great.
Yeah. No, I haven't had a bit of Marmite for a long time, so but yeah.
Again, take it or leave it.
Yeah. Fine. But yeah, no, I hope you've enjoyed, and thanks for coming on the show. And yeah, as we said at the start, if anyone fancies checking out the Edtech podcast, give it a listen. It's very good. And we'll bid you adieu, Sophie.
Thanks very much, John. Thanks, Adam.
Thanks, Sophie.
But yeah, and we'll speak to you again soon.
Speak to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, we're only at this part of the Pablo.
The podcast. That's going to be my spin-off. That's going to be my spin-off on the podcast. To be fair, it's probably been taken by some Latina gentlemen.
Right, there we go.
Yes, sir.
Latino.
Welcome to part of the Pablo. Sorry.
Right, well, we're at the part of the podcast once again where we're going to invite Pablo in for another film not to eat food by. So, Pablo, are you there?
Pablo.
How do, chaps? How are you diddling?
I'm very good.
Howdy.
Are you well?
Excellent. Very well. I'm going off on me hollybobs soon. Gonna do just find out what's happening over in Europe before they close the gates, so to speak.
Of course. Yes.
Just find out what the general thing is over there. I hear they're very into the kind of highway trucker type of serial killer, where you kind of drive from place to place in your 18-wheeler. Picking up the your strays and your desperate people along the way. So I just thought I'd check a bit of that out and maybe get a tan, bit of duty free, see what's what.
Yeah, why not?
Fair enough. Broaden your horizons, as it were.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And as you say, making the most of being an EU citizen before it all goes to
it. And also, I mean, it's not intended in any way as a racialist comment, but I've never killed a Spaniard, and I just fancy doing it. So might as well take the opportunity.
Yeah. If anything, it shows that you don't discriminate.
Well, I've got an idea in a sideline for kind of human chorizo sausages.
Oh, I was going to ask
a bit of
about
spicy paprika, all that sort of stuff. And I think it's I like to be fair with my source materials. It's got to be genuine. It's got to be, relevant to the region. So, if I'm going to make some of them. So
that pie from last time is repeating on me just as he's talking about meats and things.
Mm-hmm.
But on that note, anyone who may not have listened to this before and who possibly didn't listen to the last episode, Pablo has some unhealthy interests and practices. Some nefarious activities where he likes to take out and clean up the streets of our fair cities. Bit of a vigilante, aren't you?
I like to see myself as a scourge on the street trash, the skunk pussies, the gutter rats, the general dirge of society.
Yeah, and basically Pablo fucking kills them and turns them either into a human suits. Furniture or as I found out last episode, pies. Which I got a sample.
Well, I hate to see waste, so I'm very much I like to see myself as ecological in a way. So if I'm gonna go to the point of killing something, I need to at least find an extra source there, whether it be an extra revenue or just an extra use.
Well, it's kind of the recycling principle, isn't it, as well, and putting stuff to good use, and why not?
I'm yet to find a hot seller on the dark web, but those kind of things comes in peaks and troughs. So we'll just see what happens.
Yeah, but yeah, maybe keep your home cooking to yourself next time. Anyway, as tasty as it was, but
yeah, I had to put the rest of them in the incinerator. I'm not sure what was in that special sauce, but some of them were starting to move. So I thought best just get shot of them. So
yeah, probably wise.
I would probably block up your toilets for a little bit, just in case. If assuming you've been excreting in your toilet and you're not some sort of filthy animal and doing it in the corner. If you're doing it like that, I'll probably just clean that away and throw it away. But there may be a little bit of residual comeback. So just so you know.
Fascinating. Well, on that note, should we get onto your film Not to Eat Food by Pablo?
If you're gonna spew into this.
Well, yes, the film I'm reviewing this episode is The Machine Girl, which I believe 2008. I should have probably made note of that one. But yeah,
Pablo.
We'll go into the descriptives. Yeah. Essentially, it starts off as a game of William Tell with throwing knives, interrupted by the Machine Girl. She's a one-armed schoolgirl with a Gatling gun in place of a missing arm. Within the intro, you get an arm chopped off, minigun in the face, pipe through eye, gore, more gore. As I say, that's just within the intro titles. From there, you get a bit of a flashback as to what's happened with some narration. The fun title of the character, I assume this was intentional, but the main protagonist's real name is Army.
Army.
So they did there.
Yeah. Her and her brother Hugh, they're orphans who were left behind by parents that committed suicide after being falsely accused of a murder. Yeah, heavy stuff. Hugh's being bullied by a group of Japanese teens headed by a pimp-jacketed Shokamura, whose dad's a Yakuza, who's also pimp-jacketed, but as he runs a brothel, I'm alright giving a pass to that one. But he basically likes to make his son drink his ninja blood. There's a lovely scene of that early on.
Fair dues.
Close family.
I'm not in the way to stand and stop somebody else's cultural beliefs. If you want to drink your dad's blood, fair enough. As long as he's all right with it,
Yeah, why not?
But essentially, Hugh and his respectable tubby chum Takashi are told to get $2,000, or the bullies would sort them out. Basically, don't get it, and then they get pushed off a multi-story car park. So Machine Girl finds out about it. It's very sad. Obviously, it's her only brother, orphaned. Now she's like a sibling orphan, whatever that would be, a sorphan. But yeah, she finds a list of all the people who wronged her brother that her brother wrote down before he died, and she decides to investigate and ends up getting her arm deep fried in tempura batter for her trouble.
Ouch.
And weirdly enough, I say we're still in the flashback here. This isn't how she loses her arm.
Right. Okay. So she gets tempura arm before losing her arm.
Oh yes. As I say, it's before she's lost her arm. Her brother, after her brother dies, she's still got both arms. And initially, she's just inquisitive and she just wants to get justice for what's happened. She goes to one of the bullies' houses. The dad is a police officer. She thinks, well, here's the evidence. I've got it all here. I'll tell you about it in front of your family, and then we'll all go to the police. It'll all be sorted out. But the dad's not having that, and he starts attacking her with a golf club. Mum gets involved. Tempura batter on the hand, frying oil. It goes in, comes out looking like a prawn.
Ooh.
Yeah. Wow. But she escapes that and then decides to just go for bloody vengeance. Decides to try and take on the Yakuza. Boy in the family, gets in there, ends up getting realising she's bitten off more than she can chew, gets an arm chopped off, and basically manages to escape. And after the escape, basically ends up getting a Gatling gun attached to her stump and uses that to, commit bloody vengeance.
It sounds like there's a lot going on there.
I feel like I've seen the full film now.
It's very densely packed with gore and exposition. The main point of it seems to be that vengeance is all consuming and ultimately all destroying. But you've got mums who've lost sons fighting to the death. You've got a ninja weapon called the Executioner's Hood, which is basically just kind of like, I don't know if you ever played Silent Hill, but not a million miles. Actually, I'll tell you what, put it more into context. Quite like the Nightmare helmet.
We've talked about that before.
Spikes attached to a chain, and you throw that, it lands on somebody's head, he pulls it, rips your head off.
Jesus.
This film sounds bonkers. I must admit, I have watched the trailer and it does look a bit mental.
Well, I've seen literally the opening sequence, and there was probably more gore in that opening sequence than most of the films that we've seen this year.
Oh, it was superb. I mean, there was ninjas, decapitations, head explosions, chainsaw eviscerations. There's a steel drill bra.
That does not sound comfortable.
But there's possible spirit-imbued American football type player, gun ninja parents. That sounds like a meandering explanation, but that's as much as I could work out what they actually were, because they were dressed in a very peculiar way, had guns, and they may or may not have had the spirit of Atari Hanzo in them. But either way,
it does sound bonkers.
Oh, as a coconut, or as a early 2000s cartoon character, it was bonkers.
So I'm gonna put it out there and imagine this is gonna rate quite highly on a gore factor.
Well, I will say, I mean, the fight choreography was a little bit ropey, but that was more. It was more than made up for by the level of gore and as we've established, this general batshit craziness. There's a lot there. If you like gore, it's superb. It's available on YouTube as well as Shudder.
Oh yeah.
Just another shout out there, guys. So I would I'd give this 4.5 deep fried limbs out of 5.
Pretty good. Pretty high.
And I know I've done limb based marking systems before, but I would hope that the tempura battered deep frying makes it separate.
And it's borderline food suggestion as well.
I suppose it is, yeah. If
you're into
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, you dip anything in tempura batter and deep fry it, it's tasty. True. I could put a rat in there, it'd be nice. Tasty.
Beg to differ, maybe, although I've not tried it.
Yeah, you might love rat.
Well, maybe you have.
Yeah. What about Demolition?
Let's not go there.
Demolition Man. When he eats the rat burger in Demolition Man, he says it's the best goddamn burger he's had in years. I mean, the only burger he's had in years. But
true.
Naturally corn-fed rats. Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. None of them London
maybe
rats.
They're free range.
Yeah, if there's no plague attached to it, then it's fine.
And if you think about the speed in which they propagate, then it's pretty much rat farming could be an industry.
Yeah, you could get a lot of people get milk from them. Just milk the little teat.
Well, I'm just floating this out there, but I know internationally, I think you've got Shark Tank, but obviously in Britain you've got the Dragon's Den for some young entrepreneurial business ideas. I'm just suggesting maybe we kind of go in on a bit of rat farming.
Rat wraps.
Rat wraps.
Well, you see that everybody goes on about insects and says that they're the next thing, but I think they're thinking too far ahead. We've got rats everywhere. Surely, you've got to step before you jump.
Exactly. When we're overfishing and there's a shortage of food around the corner. Yeah. Rats, they're there. They're running everywhere.
Yeah,
literally.
We could even feed the rats on the insects. It's a superfood.
Exactly.
Boom.
True. So rat burgers or rat wraps are the new thing. So have you got any other recommendations, Pablo?
Ooh, in regards to eating things and potential human chorizos,
Ratatouille. Sorry.
Ratatouille, that's it.
Bingo.
Or,
Carry on, sorry.
What about Ratatouille? So you can get a bit of, bringing everybody together. Well, it could be the new Spud you like. That's all I'm saying. It could be
would
as
the
big
2
as
be
Spud
like
you
a numerical 2 as well, just to be down with the kids?
Yeah, that's it. Stick an emoji in there.
Done it.
Banging.
Marketing sorted. Sells itself.
Yeah. We've got a few ideas here. We had what was it, Marmite on toast from vending machines earlier. So
yeah,
Ratatouille.
We're setting the world on fire.
I think Marmite's much like a slow acting alien blood, like a xenomorph blood. That if you left it on a sandwich for too long, it would slowly just eat through the sandwich and slowly work its way through the machine. There's something wrong about Marmite.
So take it you hate it as opposed to love it.
No, it's more of a scientific interest. I think there's something slightly there's a dormant. There's something going on with Marmite.
What is it?
I'd like to get more of my research done before I'm willing to release this live to the world. But let's just say the yeast extracted may not have wanted to be extracted. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Extracted against its will.
Yes. But just to move back to the case in point, the film I would recommend is We Are What We Are, the 2013 thriller/drama, which is basically about a family who are kind of backwardsy type people. The film starts off with the mum out doing a shopping trip. People are aware of them but don't really know them, and then she accidentally gets hit by a car and dies. So it's just how the family deal with it. And let's just say the family may have slightly peculiar eating habits.
Fair play.
Aye, but it's canny in that. It's canny. I'd give it a couple of 1 hour and 45 minutes of your time.
Cool. So another recommendation there for you. But yeah, so what you got planned for the rest of the evening, Pablo?
Well, just generally packing. What I have to do is obviously with a lot of my general merchandise and things that I like to take abroad to deal and kind of service people, so to speak. I can't really take that through customs, so what I've generally got to do is there's a chap down the docks who for 20 quid will just let you sit in the hold and you just basically get off wherever he drops you. Not ideal. I kind of see it as an adventure, but it means I can take all my knives, my sheaths, my leather apron, everything.
Oh, sounds good. Hope you have a pleasant holiday.
Well, if I do, it means that somebody else definitely isn't.
Oh, that's disturbing.
Right, well, yeah, have a good trip. We'll check you when you get back.
Yeah, cheers, and I'll leave you with, as the Germans say, I'll see you later, chaps. I'll read.
Was that German?
It was close enough.
Well, the only German I know from Gateshead, so
right.
Take from that what you will.
Fair dues. All right then. Well, good night.
Guten Tag.
Ennui.
Good night. All right. Check you later.
See you later. Bye.
Okay, so that brings us to a close of this technology-themed, artificial intelligence-themed, what have you, cyborg or droid-themed episode, and we hope you've enjoyed it, and we hope you've learned a lot, such as, don't forget to put the sugar in when you're making custard.
Yep, that's true. Don't poke baristas in the face and confuse real life with mobile phone apps.
Yeah, and watch out for those drones.
Yeah, pervy drones looking at your dressing gown.
Drones. And again, thanks to Sophie who appeared earlier. Again, if you're interested, check out the Edtech Podcast. Have a listen. It's good. And we hope you also enjoyed Pablo's film "Not to Eat Food" by recommendation. You can, if you're interested, you can get in touch with Pablo on Twitter at Pablo Bonzo. I believe it's his Twitter handle. If you want to find out about some of his merchandise,
get online and interact with him via the the miracle of social media.
Yeah. And of course, if you want to contact us, we have a contact us page on our website, foodtowatchfilmsby.com. So if you want to get in touch with us, share some film and food recommendations. If you have an interest in anything that we do.
We also have a Facebook page, so you can get on there and poke us, if that's still a thing.
Hell yeah.
Do people still poke on Facebook?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Well, I think I just get annoyed when people do stuff like that, or they send me some sort of invite for something. I'm like, fuck off.
Yeah. You want to play Candy Crush? No, I do not want to play Candy Crush.
Do I look like I want to? Well, you just don't know because you can't see me. And of course, at Twitter at FTWFB Podcast.
Yeah.
So yes, that is it, and we'll bid you adieu, and we'll see you next time, or you will hear us next time. Something like that. Or maybe we're watching you.
It's time for us to go offline.
Yes.
Not forever though. We'll be back in a month.
We will be.
We will be back.
Yes, we will.
For
be
episode
back.
18.
Yes, and in greater numbers. So, bye bye.